Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. First timers, long timers, or just me and myself. Boy, oh boy, do we have some life developments. You can tell by some of these cuts on my nose, and well, for the squeamish back up, oh, it's not that bad, but these 5 stitches under my chin. We had an accident. We had a problem. I don't really know how to explain it other than just saying I fainted at the movie theater. I uh, I walked outside of a movie real quick to get a refill, and next thing I know, I woke up on the floor to somebody going, "Hey man, you okay?" That was loud as hell, and I'm kind of disoriented. I don't really know what's going on, and then I walk in the bathroom and kind of get my bearings about me a little bit, and like, all right, I don't think I have a concussion. Like, I don't have a headache or anything. I'm like remembering my address and birthday. I'm like, I think that's okay. And then I realize and I feel myself, and I'm just covered in blood, covered in it, with a huge hole in my chin. Not fun. Not fun at all. End up getting stitched up. And I think it's funny because on the night it happened, I remember I got on here and I posted a prayer, and I was really starting to feel like a turning of the tide a little bit. Things have been feeling a little difficult, and I felt like, okay, we're on the comeback trail, and that happened, and it's a bummer. It is a bummer. It hurts. My jaw is fucking hurting. But thankfully, didn't lose any teeth. Nothing of the sort. I think it's really easy to come on here and do these meditative talks when I just got out of a great meditation, or the dots seem to connect in life, and you just feel better. You feel good. But I make it a point for myself or for anyone watching these to communicate when that isn't the case, when it doesn't feel good, when I'm in pain, when I'm confused, when I'm sad, when I'm angry. Because to be totally honest, that is the duality of life. I don't think I'm much service to anybody only talking about the beautiful, wonderful days and when everything feels aligned and you seem like you could pick a star out of the sky and put it in your pocket, It's, to me, I feel like if I could serve anybody, is I could serve them through my experience. Which, not to sound heavy, is a little dark. I feel especially equipped to talk about this kind of pain, this kind of confusion, this kind of long stretches of just alienation and darkness, and sharing what helps me through them. For me right now, whenever these moments happen, it brings me back to surrender. It brings me back to saying, I'm thinking a little too much right now, and I need to rely not on my own understanding, but on my faith. When I was growing up, I'd hear people talk about faith or talk about that, and in some ways it felt like a cop-out. It felt like a convenient way to not take responsibility. only as I've gotten older have I realized that it's not that at all. Because the idea of taking responsibility is usually faking control. Believing that I am the grand mover of any and all things at all times, when in actuality, there is a higher I, the All, God, that writes all of our steps. And these moments usually serve me as a chance to lift my arms up and go, God, I don't got it. Lead me. I don't need, hey, take it for a little bit. And that's where I am right now, you know? And I don't think there's anything wrong with admitting that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing that with somebody. My only wisdom or advice or anything is, if you're experiencing moments where it's whether it just be a monotonous churning of difficulty, or it comes all out of the blue at once, the relief that can be generated from understanding, hey man, this is bigger than me. I'm not in this alone. And I live in a loving and guiding universe. Proclaiming that makes it so. But when you try to control everything, and when you try to piece it all together and run the show, I've always felt God has a way of yelling cut. In this case, that cut is 5 stitches. So yeah. You're not alone. You're not somebody who is doomed or stuck. You're just trying to take too much control in your story right now. Breathe deep and allow God to work. And I know it's scary, because everything in your brain and in your heart is telling you, nah, nah, nah. Right now, this is the part where I gotta lock in. This is the part where it's all up to me. And believe me, I've tried that many, 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 many times. But I realize that there's no replacement for these tests of faith. The way I pass this, as I've learned, is by going, you know what? It's bigger than me. It is. Truly. So thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you for sharing what I make. Thank you for growing with me and the ebbs and flows of all this. But keep the faith. Be present. Be present. And trust that, like I said in a different video, that formula of faith is most present action. Get yourself out of your head. Get yourself out of a control state. And trust that when you can ground yourself and find that most present action, the doors will unlock. And I'm only speaking from experience. As always, this is here if you need it.